million into recovery efforts, both immediate and long term. All Chicagoans and Chicagoans at heart coming together with trusted community leaders and residents to help bridge the COVID divide.
So when we did this work or started this work, it was not to be prescriptive and to dictate to people what they needed. We heard back from the community, and that, initial feedback loop included strategies like, hey, we want access to jobs, we want access to care, we want equitable education in our communities, and we want meaningful things for young people to do. Fast forward to COVID, we have to ramp up and be more intentional. So people on the ground, they're looking for a rapid response. If everybody is mandated to wear a mask, people need masks. It's a human right. If there's an issue with getting access to food, we need to provide that. And testing, that's the biggest thing that we hear and the biggest space that we need to ramp up.
One of the big things we talk about is both being data-driven and sort of co-creating and co-leading with community. It matters that this is in the mayor's office. It matters that it's a part of the senior team. And it matters that this is not just isolated, though, to one particular area, that the focus of this is that it is meant to support and work with and help expand everything that we do. That kind of intentionality from the outset of this administration, I think, has positioned us well to deal with the things that are coming our way and really think and push further about how we might approach that.
We've set a unique table here that I think is very different, as Candace said, coming out of the mayor's office and setting a table that has government, that has community leadership and community organizers, as well as healthcare providers, data folks, epidemiologists, et cetera. The crisis has presented us kind of an accelerated path to connecting these dots and bringing this work together in a way that we were on that path, but this created this sense of urgency to bring it together in a coordinated fashion. Things like cloth mask distributions, food pop-ups in the 3 communities that we worked with from the beginning, Austin, Auburn Gresham, and South Shore Works. We've been able to partner with Greater Chicago Food Depository to set up food pop-ups in those communities with enough food to feed 1,000 people every week.
Equity is not just a destination, it's a process. Equally as tangible, I think, is the way by which we get at those things.
Well, continuing the conversation right now, we're joined once again by Sylvia Puente. She's the executive director of the Latino Policy Forum. And Sylvia, before we had to go to break the last time, we were talking about the economy and employment and perhaps diversifying the small businesses in some of these communities. Do you see that as one of the solutions here?
Definitely, and we know that entrepreneurship and small businesses are one of the fastest growing sectors of our economy, and that Latino businesses, especially businesses run by Latinas, Latino women, are really driving that growth. So how do we preserve their ability to continue their entrepreneurship? How do we preserve their ability to continue to be able to make a living for themselves and their families? But I also think, Lourdes, we're going to need a 21st century Marshall Plan, a 21st century WPA plan, to really deal with a lot of the jobs that won't come back as a result of the downturn in the economy. A lot of jobs, I think, are going to disappear. So how do we think creatively about what are the new jobs in creating safety, security, cleaning spaces, right? What are the new jobs in terms of what we need to do to rebuild our infrastructure in the state of Illinois, to rebuild our highways, to rebuild our bridges? What are the ways that we can retool those who are on the lower end of the labor market to be able to thrive post COVID? And I don't want to call it recovery because I think recovery gets us back to where we were. We really need to think creatively and innovatively about what do we want for the future of our economy, for the future of our Black and Latino communities. And it really has to be an accelerated path towards getting towards equity and justice for our communities.
Yeah, it's a new normal that we're talking about. As we talked about a little bit earlier, we don't want to go back to the same way it was. We know that Chinatown's another community that's hurting now because of the backlash, because China is where the COVID-19 originated. Sylvia, tell me this. How much of an onus is on the communities to rebuild and get themselves together? We've talked about how people need to bring money in, people need to do this. What can these communities do for themselves?
Well, it's both and, right? I mean, I think what is greater entrepreneurship than the people that sell tamales and elotes on 26th Street and work in the cash economy? I mean, they're working very hard. They're working every day, sun up to sundown, just to be able to feed their families. So I don't think that Latino communities lack for entrepreneurship, lack for a hard work ethic, lack for being creative about how to make a living. I think when we really think about it, from coming from Mexico and other Latin American countries, that entrepreneurial spirit is really imbued and instilled in us. So yes, we hold responsibility for how do we help our communities economically thrive, but it has to be a partnership. There has to be resources, there has to be investment from government, from philanthropy, from the corporate sectors. But if this moment has not taught us anything, it's that we're all connected, that we're all tied together. And the same way this disease is connecting people across the world who have gotten sick, the solution, I think, is also going to require all of us to come together, to work together, to help our communities thrive once again.
Beautifully said. We'll end it there. Thank you so much, Sylvia Puente, Executive Director
Thank you.
with the Latino Policy Forum. We appreciate it tonight.
Thank you. Be safe, be well. Stay with us for a special moment honoring Chicago's spirit of survival.